Welcome back to our detailed exploration of Star Wars, Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, the epic conclusion of the original Star Wars trilogy. This film, released in 1983, brings the journey of Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Han Solo, and the other heroes of the Rebel Alliance to a dramatic climax. Return of the Jedi is a film full of emotional resolutions, spectacular battles, and the ultimate confrontation between the forces of light and darkness. During production, the film was shot under the working title Blue Harvest to avoid curiosity and attention. The full title was Blue Harvest: Horror Beyond Imagination. This pseudonym was used to conceal the real filming from curious fans and media. The film was originally supposed to be titled Revenge of the Jedi. However, George Lucas changed the title, believing that revenge was not in the character of a Jedi. This title was later used for the third film in the prequel trilogy in a slightly altered form, Revenge of the Sith. The decision to have Yoda die was made to definitively convince the audience that Darth Vader was truly Luke's father. George Lucas feared that viewers might dismiss this revelation in The Empire Strikes Back as a lie by Vader, so Yoda was used as another authority to confirm it. There were considerations to have Han Solo die in this film. Harrison Ford was open to the idea of his character dying to give the film more weight. However, George Lucas decided against it, fearing that it might affect toy sales and because he believed that Star Wars deserved a happy ending. In Return of the Jedi, Darth Vader is shown without his mask. Sebastian Shaw was chosen for the role of the unmasked Anakin Skywalker. He was an established actor, and his scene revealing his true identity to Luke is one of the film's most emotional moments. The final celebration on Endor, where the rebels celebrate their victory over the Empire, was originally shot only with the Ewoks. For the 1997 special edition, George Lucas added scenes of celebrations in various cities across the galaxy to show the galaxy-wide triumph of the rebellion. In early drafts of the story, the Emperor was supposed to appear only in Episode 9, according to the original plan for a third trilogy. However, Lucas decided that the Emperor should appear as the main antagonist in Return of the Jedi to bring the story to a conclusion. In the original theatrical release, Sebastian Shaw was the Jedi spirit of Anakin Skywalker, who appeared alongside Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda at the end of the film. In the 2004 DVD release, Shaw was replaced by Hayden Christensen, who played Anakin in the prequels to create a stronger connection between the trilogies. The Force lightning used by the Emperor to torture Luke was one of the first uses of computer effects in the Star Wars series. This was a significant step forward in visual effects technology and contributed to the terrifying portrayal of the Emperor. The story begins on Tatooine, where Han Solo, still frozen in carbonite, hangs as a decoration in Jabba's palace. Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Lando Calrissian, Chewbacca, R2-D2, and C-3PO devise a plan to rescue Han. Leia, disguised as a bounty hunter, sneaks into the palace and attempts to free Han, but is discovered and captured. Eventually, Luke himself confronts Jabba the Hutt and demands the release of his friends. When Jabba refuses, a spectacular battle ensues over the Sarlacc pit, a giant carnivorous creature in the desert of Tatooine. With the help of his friends, Luke manages to free Han and defeat Jabba before returning to the Rebel Alliance. After Han's rescue, Luke learns from Yoda, who lives on Dagobah, that his Jedi training is nearly complete, but he must face Darth Vader again to become a full Jedi. Yoda also confirms that Darth Vader is indeed Luke's father. Shortly afterward, Yoda dies and becomes one with the Force. The rebels learn that the Empire is constructing a second, even more powerful Death Star, intended to bring the galaxy fully under the Emperor's control. Unlike the first Death Star, this one is still under construction, but the rebels discover a weakness. The Death Star is protected by a shield generator on the forest moon of Endor. The rebels plan an assault to destroy the shield generator, allowing a fleet to penetrate the heart of the Death Star and destroy it. Luke, Leia, Han, Chewbacca, R2-D2, and C-3PO lead a strike team on Endor to sabotage the shield generator. On Endor, they encounter the Ewoks, a primitive but brave species initially hostile to the intruders. However, thanks to C-3PO, whom the Ewoks believe to be a god, they eventually join forces with the rebels. Together, they develop a plan to defeat the Imperial troops on Endor and destroy the shield generator. While the rebels prepare their attack on the Death Star, Luke decides to confront Darth Vader and bring him back to the light side. He surrenders to the Imperial troops on Endor and is brought to Emperor Palpatine, who tries to lure Luke to the dark side. Palpatine reveals that he orchestrated the rebel trap on Endor and that the attack on the Death Star is an attempt to destroy them all in one blow. Luke resists the dark side and fights his father in an epic lightsaber duel. During the battle, Luke feels the growing darkness within him, especially when Vader threatens to turn Leia to the dark side. In a fit of rage, Luke defeats Vader, but when he is about to deliver the killing blow, he realizes that he is on the path to becoming like his father. He throws away his lightsaber and declares to the Emperor that he will be a Jedi like his father before him. Furious at Luke's defiance, Palpatine begins to torture him with Force lightning. At this crucial moment, Vader sees his son suffering and is overwhelmed by a deep inner conflict. He finally decides to betray his master, lifts the Emperor, and throws him into the Death Star's reactor shaft, killing Palpatine and mortally wounding himself with the Force lightning. Luke pulls his dying father from the Death Star, but Vader, now Anakin Skywalker again, tells him that it is too late for him to be saved. Anakin asks Luke to remove his mask so he can see his son with his own eyes before he dies and finally becomes one with the Force. Meanwhile, the rebels on Endor, with the help of the Ewoks, successfully destroy the shield generator. This allows the rebel fleet to penetrate the Death Star. Lando Calrissian and Nien Nunb lead the final assault. In a spectacular battle, they enter the Death Star's reactor shaft and destroy the core. The Death Star explodes and the Empire is decisively weakened. Luke narrowly escapes the Death Star with his father's body. The film ends with the rebels returning to Endor, where they celebrate their victory. Luke ritually burns his father's body. In the final scene, Luke sees the spirits of Obi-Wan, Yoda, and Anakin Skywalker watching over him in peace. Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, brings the epic story of the original trilogy to an emotional and satisfying conclusion. The film depicts the final redemption of Anakin Skywalker, the end of the Empire, and the hope for a better future for the galaxy. It is a film that unites the core themes of the entire saga: redemption, hope, sacrifice, and the eternal struggle between good and evil. We hope you enjoyed this detailed exploration. If you want to see more Star Wars content, let us know in the comments, like the video, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Until then, see you in the next episode.